Welcome to July the 9th. I'll start from 2017, work back to 2014, and take it from there. Some things should not happen, but they do. It is worth contemplating why Victorian Premier Dan Andrews and former US President Obama are so awful in office. Dan Andrews' opposition to building a needed road and throwing away over $1 billion to not build that road defies rational explanation. If one believes that Andrews is serving the state of Victoria, so too does Obama's outsourcing of foreign policy to a new Cold War, while still employing troops to drop expensive bombs and futile gestures which weren't backed up, defies rational explanation if one believes Obama was serving his country. But if one considers both men to be rational, then one must conclude that they had ulterior reasons. But the ulterior reasons may be glaringly obvious, but not what conspiracy theorists like. Dan Andrews does not serve Victoria, but a cabal of backers who do not profit from a much-needed road. Andrews is willing to spend some $9.6 billion on railways, but will not shell out an extra $500 million or so to allow the network to proceed without ripping up nature strips and inconveniencing pedestrians and public transport users for months on end. The reason must be his cabal profits from the $9.6 billion, but not the $500 million. Similarly, Democrats were not stupid in pursuing domestic division and international chaos. Obama could care less about Northern Korea, Ukraine, Iran, and the peaceful state of Israel. Obama has made himself filthy rich, but it probably is not merely personal wealth, but his own cabal he was feeding. And that ties to the Clinton Foundation and the activity of the Clinton Foundation, which raises questions about the significant aid money Australia has given the Clinton Foundation. In 455, the Roman military commander Avitus was proclaimed Emperor of the Western Roman Empire. It didn't last long. He was capable, but betrayed by his supporters. In 491, Odoacer made a night assault with his Heruli guardsmen, engaging Theodoric the Great in Ad Punitam. Both sides suffered heavy losses, but in the end, Theodoric forced Odoacer back into Ravenna. From there, Odoacer had been a client warlord to Emperor Zeno of Constantinople, but Zeno did not find him fully compliant and used Theodoric to take him out, which he did in 493. Theodoric accepted terms of surrender and murdered Odoacer at a surrender meet. In 660, the Battle of Hwangsa-bio, Korean forces under General Kim Yu-shin defeated the army of Baekje at Nonsan, South Korea. It is difficult to overstate how courageous the 5,000 defenders were and valiant against an army of some 50,000. 869, a magnitude 8.6 earthquake and subsequent tsunami struck the area around Sendai in the northern part of Honshu, Japan. In 1540, King Henry VII of England annulled his marriage to King Henry VIII of England annulled his marriage to his fourth wife, Anne of Cleves. 1572, 19 Catholics suffered martyrdom for their beliefs in the Dutch town of Gorkum. 1755, French and Indian War, Braddock Expedition, British troops and colonial militiamen were ambushed and suffered a devastating defeat by French and Native American forces. 1776, George Washington ordered the Declaration of Independence to be read out loud to members of the Continental Army in New York for the first time. 1793, the Act Against Slavery was passed in Upper Canada, and the importation of slaves into Lower Canada was prohibited. In 1821, 470 prominent Cypriots, including Archbishop Kyprianos, were executed in response to Cypriot aid to the Greek War of Independence. In 1850, U.S. President Zachary Taylor died. Vice President Millard Fillmore became president upon Taylor's death. Also 1850, Persian prophet Bab was executed in Tabriz, Persia. In 1868, the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution was ratified, guaranteeing African Americans full citizenship and all persons in the United States due process of law. In 1875, the outbreak of Herzegovina uprisings against the Ottoman rule, which would last until 1878 and have far-reaching implications throughout the Balkans. In 1877, the inaugural Wimbledon Championships began. In 1896, William Jennings Bryan delivered his Cross of Gold speech, advocating bimetallism at the 1896 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. In 1900, Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom gave royal assent to an act creating Australia, thus uniting separate colonies on the continent under one federal government. Also, 1900 Boxer Rebellion, the government of Shaanxi province in North China ordered the execution of 45 foreign Christian missionaries and local church members, including children. In 1903, future Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin was exiled to Siberia for 3 years. In 1922, Johnny Weissmuller swam the 100-meter freestyle in 58.6 seconds, breaking the world swimming record and the minute barrier. In 1937, the silent film archives of Fox Film Corporation were destroyed by the 1937 Fox Fault Fire. In 1943, World War II, Operation Husky, Allied forces performed an amphibious invasion of Sicily. 1944, World War II, the Battle of Normandy. British and Canadian forces captured Caen, France. Also, 1944, World War II, Battle of Saipan. American forces took Saipan in the Mariana Islands. And also in 1944, the Battle of Tali-Intala. Finland won the Battle of Tali-Intala, the largest battle ever fought in Northern Europe. The Red Army withdrew its troops from Intala and dug into a defensive position, thus ending the Vyborg-Petrovsk offensive. In 1962, Andy Warhol's Campbell's Soup Cans exhibition opened at the Ferris Gallery in Los Angeles. In 1972, the Troubles in Belfast, British Army snipers shot 5 civilians dead in the Spring Hill Massacre. 1979, a car bomb destroyed a Renault motorcar owned by the famed Nazi hunter Serge and Beat Klarsfeld at their home in France. A note purportedly from Odessa claimed responsibility. In 1981, Donkey Kong, a video game created by Nintendo, was released. The game marked the debut of Nintendo's future mascot, Mario.